Good morning, this is Terry Allen. I'm speaking to my two fans. I've had some discussions with some people about Israel and the Palestinians. And what you will hear Israel, the Zionists, say on video, on camera, and I've heard it, and I bet people must have seen it, that we have to kill the children, the Palestinian children, because they're going to grow up to be terrorists. They're finding bodies of babies over there with bullets in their heads. I mean, this is a sickness that we haven't seen since maybe Nazi Germany. Oh, but if you point it out, you're an anti-Semite. These people are sick. And now I'm starting to understand why people have hated the Jews over years and years. Why? Why would anybody hate Jews? What have they done? Well, now we're starting to find out. They believe that they are the chosen people by God, and they have a right to rule the planet because everybody else is too stupid, and they've written this, and they say this stuff. And Christians, we got to support Israel because they're the God's chosen people. Oh, my God. So let's support genocide and mass murder. Oh, and a guy debating me from the Israel American Support bullshit group that it's not genocide. Israel's defending itself. You've got to be kidding me. I mean, how can people see this and not do anything about it? It makes no sense to me. How can people be so stupid, so brainwashed to think that the Jews have a right to do whatever they fucking want to anybody they want, and everyone is supposed to overlook it? You gotta start reading stuff about the Talmud. Start looking up these videos of these psychopaths like Ben Gvir. I don't know if he's even alive anymore, but the stuff that Netanyahu says behind closed doors, how they've got to buy off all the social media because it's giving them a bad name. Just one lady on this committee, she said, well, there's a rise in anti-Semitism because everybody turns on YouTube and the videos and they see all this carnage going on in Gaza and they start getting angry with Jews. Oh, the carnage. Oh, what carnage? I thought there wasn't any genocide. This is amazing. It's amazing. And the more you read about it and the more you find out about it, the more you realize that all this bullshit is true. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. How did we miss all this stuff? How did all this get pushed under the rug over these years? All these poor Jews in Israel, we got to support them because everybody hates them all around. All their neighbors hate them. Oh, isn't this horrible? You've always got to ask why. You've got to look for a motive. And what is the motive? People just don't wake up one morning hating Jews. They just don't. It's not in genetics. It's not. Babies are not born hating Jews. Now, babies in Israel, when they get to be about 5 years old, they go to school and they start learning that Palestinians and Arabs are all animals and dogs, and we need to get rid of them because they're just going to kill us. And all the world hates us, and we need a homeland.
In 2 miles, use the left 2 lanes to take the California 57 North exit.
Martin's over there in Israel interviewing people, and they're saying, well, we just should nuke them all. And then there's one psycho who says, if I had a button, and I could push this button, and every single person in Gaza would be dead, he said, I would push that button in a second. What in the fuck is wrong with these people? This is psychopathic. This is psychopathic behavior. And how can that be? It's just amazing. It's just amazing. So any Christian that tells me, oh, we got to support Israel because they're the God's chosen people, they can go themselves. You're an idiot. You know nothing. You don't even know the Bible. The Bible's full of a lot of bullshit, but if you want to read it and try to figure it out literally, then none of this is true. God gave Abraham supposedly some land and said, here, you're going to be the father of many nations, and from the Nile to the Euphrates. You know, that wasn't anything given to Jews. That was before the Israelites even existed. And they somehow they can confiscate this deed of the land. Oh, this is ours now. God damn it. Oh my God. You got to read the history of Israel and Zionism. You've got to read it. Because it's all there. It's all laid out. Exactly what they did and how they did it. You can see how the Zionists were buying up pieces of land over there. Over the years, they were buying land. There was only 5% Jews in Palestine when this whole thing started.
In half a mile,
and they
use
were
the
doing
left 2
everything they
lanes to take
could
the California 57 North exit.
As many Jews to move to Israel as they could get. And they wanted the Arabs out. They wanted to push the Palestinians out, the indigenous people out. And the Americans have a lot to say about that because look what we did.
Use the left 2 lanes to take the California 57 North exit.
So, the United States is just as guilty as they are. We killed 1 million people in Iraq. We killed 2 million people in Vietnam. We have a lot of blood on our hands. So maybe that's why we don't say anything because, oh, well, you know, we did it too. And fucking hell, man. Jeez. Unbelievable. How can anybody believe this garbage unless they are so brainwashed and so uneducated that they will just accept this crap? Oh, well, my preacher said it, so it must be true. He would never lie to me. He might be getting a little money from the Zionists on the side. You know, they're not saying anything bad about Israel. And then this lunatic, Lindsey Graham. What the hell? Why is this guy in Congress? In the Senate? How in the hell? This guy is a lunatic. But I'm finding out, see, that there's a lot of other stuff under the rug here that we're not seeing, but is actually going on, is that the Zionists believe that they have to force God to return. He has to force God to send the Messiah to return to save Israel and the Jews. Well, the Christians identify that as, well, Jesus is coming back if we have Armageddon, and if the Zionists try to build the third temple, you know, destroy the Temple Mount, the mosque there, and put their temple back up again, so that's going to usher in Jesus. Here he's coming. Oh, God almighty. These people are insane. They're fucking insane. Oh, my God. There's scholars out there that can tell you about the Bible, about who wrote it, who didn't write it. They got all these ancient manuscripts. Most of them, they don't even know who originally wrote them. The New Testament, they got no originals of that at all. They're thinking now the Old Testament, a lot of these books were actually written later on. A lot of the stories came from Babylon, from Persia, from the Greeks. A lot of the Babylonian gods, the Greek gods, were part of this whole story, and they just changed the names to protect the guilty. The history is full of dying and rising gods on Easter, on the spring equinox. And there you've got the rabbits going at it, and then you've got the eggs. God damn it. Well, even the Jews have a female a fertility goddess.
Take the interchange.
Can't even pronounce the name, but check it out. It's one of their one of their mystic things that they worship. You see the Ashkenazi Jews and these guys at the Wailing Wall doing that up and down thing. Well, find out what that's about. Read up on that. Do you know what they're doing? They're simulating sex with the fertility goddess so they can join with her. Apparently this fertility goddess was God's girlfriend. The Christians know any of this shit? Nope, they don't. Because if they did, maybe they wouldn't support this genocide and these psychopaths. And now we're saying, does Israel really have a right to exist? None of that land was theirs, because all of these Ashkenazi Jews all came from Eastern Europe, from the Caucasus area, Caucasian. They were from the Khazars.
In half a mile, use the left 3 lanes to take exit 25C for I-210 West Foothill Freeway toward Pasadena.
To Judaism. And they came up with their own crazy version of it. You know, it's just... And Israel and the Zionists, they have this goal.
Use the left 3 lanes to take exit 25C.
Greater Israel policy. They're going back in the Bible and they're digging up some of these documents and they go, oh, well, look, you know, God promised Abraham the land from the Nile to the Euphrates. Well, take a look at the Greater Israel map. That's what it shows from the Nile to the Euphrates. And they've cut this map out showing all of the territory that they want. And they want to create an Israeli empire where they can set up their own fucking banking system over there, which will be, I'm sure, unregulated, like Switzerland and the Virgin Islands. And then they can run their operations over there. It'll be like another City of London operation. It'll be like another Las Vegas operation. It's... wow. You know, Abby Martin, Glenn Greenwald, Whitney Webb, you know, there's a lot of people that know the truth about this stuff. There's a lot of people that know about the Epstein connection with the Mossad and how this banking operation, how they were funding guns and drug operations. They know about what's going on. The problem is, people like Trump and these other psychopaths don't know the history. They don't know the facts. They fell out of a tree like Kamala Harris used to say, did you just fall out of a coconut tree? I guess so. This friend of mine, oh, well, there's the past. You can't judge what's going on now by the past. Well, why the hell not? You know, in 1948, if a bunch of Zionists, you know, in their Nazi-looking uniforms come strolling in and start taking everyone's houses away and throwing 700,000 Palestinians out of their homes, putting them in a tent camp, and then moving them into Gaza, which was an open-air prison, you think those people are going to just forgive and forget? That's going to stick with them for a long time, particularly when they're constantly being tortured and tormented over the decades. I mean, these guys are just shutting off the power to Gaza out of the blue. Hey, I don't think you need electricity today. Oops, look what happened. The water got turned off. Oh, shit. What are we going to do? You know, and that kind of shit. And just shooting indiscriminately over the wall. They used to have a thing called giving Gaza a haircut. Disgusting. They just go in and just mow a bunch of people down. They wanted them out. It's called ethnic cleansing. They wanted to torture them so bad that they would have to leave. And all this is facts. And if you call me an anti-Semite, go fuck yourself. Because this is bullshit. You need to identify evil. You need to go after the evil. I don't know why. Even the Promethean Action Group, which are great, they're not even saying anything about Israel. Oh, yeah, what's going on in Iran, yeah, the Islamic fundamentalists took over. That's true. We helped them. The CIA and the UK helped that happen. Because in 1953, we helped put in a king. We threw out Mossadegh, the duly elected president, and put a Shah back in power so that he would cut special deals with the oil companies. And he had the petrodollar. And then, oh my God, the most corrupt bullshit. Thank you, capitalism. Everybody, oh, it's capitalism. Yeah, capitalism. It's called unregulated, predatory capitalism. So all this crap about, oh, we're for competition, you know? No, what predatory capitalists do is they just go in and destroy their competitor. They bomb the hell out of the country, destroy their manufacturing. Oh, look. And then the other countries that they don't destroy, they just put huge sanctions on them, where they just cut off all their funding, medicine, food, set up sanctions, and then their economy falls apart, and they go, oh shit, look, socialism doesn't work. Oh, I never seen so many stupid people in all my frickin' life. I don't know. And that's why I get shadow banned, because I'm saying this stuff. Oh God, well, he's telling the truth. Oh shit, we can't get that out. You can guarantee that if you're shadow banned and getting your videos taken down, then you must be hitting a nerve. You must be telling the truth. And you can look up every one of these things, and I am telling the truth about everything. And there's tons of sources out there that will agree with me. Tons of them. And look at the Charlie Kirk thing. Now we're finding out, wow, look at that. Erica Kirk kind of like pushing her way in, you know, and things are starting to change around here. And then suddenly we find out, oh, Charlie Kirk was threatened. He was a danger. He would have been completely against this Iran operation. He was becoming very anti-Zionist. That's what, I mean, anti-Semite. Okay, that's not even the right word. That doesn't even mean anything. Semitic? Everybody over there is Semitic, for God's sake. Semitic languages? Oh my God. So much ignorance in this world. Anyway, looks like the Mossad probably did it. You know? A lot of circumstantial evidence is adding up. But, oh, we can't investigate this because, you know, we might find out some stuff that's really not going to be, you know, it's going to be embarrassing for certain rich people. And we wouldn't want that to happen because they fund my campaigns every season. I don't know. All right, good luck, everyone. Let's see, somebody's going to drop a nuke, and I guarantee the first person that's going to drop a nuke will be Netanyahu. The first. That's the danger in the Middle East, is Israel. They're the ones that would do it. Iran is not crazy enough to do it.
In 2 miles, use the right 2 lanes to take the I-605 south exit. It's a Persian
country. It's not an Islamic country. They're not even Arab. The United States and UK pushed that government onto Iran so that they could get their way with the oil and the destabilization operations over there. Well, the Persians over there, you know, they're brilliant people, and look what they've done with their military. They had 40 years to plan for this, 40 years to build these missiles. They analyzed what the threats would be. They knew this day would come, and their only option was missiles, hypersonic missiles down the road as well, because none of our systems could handle that. None of our systems was designed to stop any of that. So now they have the upper hand. And, you know, oh God, I voted for Trump. I listened. I believed all the bullshit about, oh, we're never going to get any more wars. These regime change wars, a waste of money, waste of lives. Yeah, right. So here we go. And maybe this is some brilliant operation by Trump. Maybe this is some kind of secret plan, because Iran is just plummeting Israel, just pounding them. And everybody's standing back and said, well, we ran out of Patriot missiles, so what are we going to do? Oh, God. And then here comes the two nuclear-powered aircraft carriers. Here they come. Oh, shit. Iran can launch weapons at us that we can't stop. Well, just turn around quick. And then they sail away. I got to get about 1,000 miles away from Iran. Oh my God, so much for air power and ship power. God damn it. Oh, but we got the greatest Navy in the world. No one's ever been stronger.
In half a mile, use the right 2 lanes to take the I-605 south exit. Wow. Okay. Well, I hope Promethean action is correct. I hope this is actually going to take down the British banking system. That's what I hope. That's what they say this is all about. And they've been Use
right
the right
mostly,
2 lanes to take the I-605 south exit.
Sources I don't have. So anyway, let's see how this turns out. Okay, but Israel's already broken the ceasefire. Oh, boy, they didn't say anything about us destroying Lebanon. This was a ceasefire between the United States and Iran. See, I told my son, these guys are going to break the ceasefire within 5 minutes. Well, they broke it in 10 minutes, so I was wrong, okay? Oh, this is all so predictable. All right, I got to go. Why don't you just subscribe? Why don't you put a like on there? Because I'm right. If you're still here listening to me, then I'm right. And you can document everything I've said. Mershimer, Finkelstein. There's so many out there that know this. Any scholars know this, that really know Middle East history, know this stuff. So, check it out. All right, take it easy, everyone, and let's see what happens tomorrow. I sure hope that a smoking gun doesn't turn into a mushroom cloud.